Hello and welcome or welcome back. Today we're just going to be playing some more Kill and Floor and probably just talking about some stuff. So if that sounds fun or interesting to you for any reason at all, seek help. But before you do that, please consider doing all the things that YouTube likes and that I appreciate very, very much. And we will get right into it. Thank you guys for chilling, by the way. Ooh. Aw. Dun it. Can't see shit. You just chill here and yeah, so I was hanging out in the Discord last weekend with a guy. We were chilling, playing some Kill and Floor and Kill and Floor 2, you know. And we started talking about the Resident Evil games, and it just got me thinking about all of them over the years, pretty much. I know I've probably talked about it on the channel before, but, you know.
Hell, has he been out in the sun too long?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, my first experience was all the way back in the fucking mid 90s or whatever when the first game came out. And I remember that was like one of the first. Was it one of the first one? I can't remember. It was definitely up there with one of the like a priority game that my brother bought like back in the day, Resident Evil, and even the director's cut. That shit, like that game just clapped. Yeah, that first game just definitely took a concept and ran with it. Like I didn't know about what's it called, Alone in the Dark, back in the day, but now you can play it like online on your browser if you really want to. I have. It's not bad. It's very difficult. It's not forgiving at all. But it was pretty. Like if people say Resident Evil 1 is the first survival horror, it wasn't technically. Technically, it was Alone in the Dark, the old boxy pixelated. It's pretty cool. And then what was it? Sweet Home, right? Isn't that was an NES game, I believe. That was pretty much that Resident Evil took and ran with pretty much the people over there. Okay, that guy just jumped into the hole. Yeah. Yeah, that was such a unique thing, like especially in the '90s. We went from playing Nintendo, and then what? Like you get the PlayStation demo discs and all the shit that's on there, right? And it was completely different. A lot of kids stuff, you know. I remember there was this one on a demo disc that was like an underwater exploration thing. That was pretty cool. I don't know, just like the difference in graphics, like that like especially back in the day, that was just something, you know. That hit. Yeah, that was insane. I remember like the first, like what was it? The first real boss fight in that game, right? Was against the giant snake. I remember that shit just being intimidating when you were a kid. Like I was a kid, like I don't know, 5, 6 years old. You know, watching my brother play this, and then whenever I tried it, I was just miserably horrible. The tank controls. I mean, even then were difficult, right? And that was like we were used to it then. But yeah, that was pretty good. Like it's just a whole new level of scary, you know. Like that was just something. Especially when you're that young, it's just like I don't know. When I was a kid, I wasn't that. I was I was like the one that was the younger boy, so I was always the one getting fucked with by all the older ones, like trying to scare the shit out of me using horror movies, which end up now I just love horror movies. Yeah, and then obviously, you know, that giant, what is it, the giant spider fight. Oh, I don't like spiders. Oh yeah, man. Then just like the cheesiness of it, the live action scenes and the voice lines, man. I remember seeing, I think it was Wang. If you don't know Justin Wang, he's a really good YouTuber. You should check him out. Uh, the people that went there to do it, the actors that shot the live action shit, they were just like, they're just like actors, like freelancers or whatever. They were just there to work. You know, they didn't know what the hell they were involved with. and what it was going to become, you know, and I think that that's actually really cool. Like, that's just like a neat thing to happen in your life as an actor, as a voice actor or anything. It's like, I'm just doing this for a paycheck. It probably wasn't even that much. And it ends up being for something as culturally impactful as Resident Evil. You know, that's just really cool. Yeah. Yeah, then the fucking, cool. Yeah, then the second one came out. And that one, I believe time-wise, is taking place at the same time as the first one. So everything's just hit like, the shit's hitting the fan, but you're seeing it from a different angle. I mean, I'm just explaining it, and everybody probably knows exactly what it is. That's where you get Leon for the first time, and Claire, and Mr. X. And you're like,
Where the hell is she?
the environment with the city. I don't know, man. Like, the beginning of that game was pretty cool. You're just kind of thrown into the shit. Going through the city and stuff like that until you hit the gunshot. It's just like the whole thing, like, I don't know. It's just so good. The story is so good. I don't know what I can say about it that hasn't been said already, you know, type of thing. It's like, that's like when the game really started to kind of find its identity. And it's kind of early, right? Like the first game was so good when it comes down to survival horror. They got like a lot of things down. You're not too capable. You're capable, but not too capable. And that was always a good thing. Kind of like when you get Silent Hill. You're completely opposite. You're just like some guy. You're not like a mercenary or anything like that. You're just a guy. So I mean, that was like a cool dynamic in that game, was the fact that like you're just not a combat expert. And like even in Resident Evil, where the guy, where we're not even just the guys, like Jill from the first game, they're well trained and still having a hard time because it's just something so fucked up and different. Yeah, and then the third game, it kind of starts off kind of similar as the second one, but you're playing as a Jill that knows what she's doing already. So like she's out there, you start off with an assault rifle and a grenade launcher attached to it, and it's fun. Like that one ended up being like combat wise just really good for the tank controls for what it is, and you know, like yeah, she's already like she already kind of knows what to expect. The game's not easy. Nemesis was such a badass. Like, that was such a thing. I remember him being just a favorite right off the bat. I mean, I'm sure everybody did.
I want you close, babe.
That's why when the remake came out, man, when the remake of 3 came out, I was so disappointed in that one. There's like the Nemesis. What'd you do to Nemesis? He looks like a fucking thumb. Yeah, when the 4th one came out, that one totally changed what Resident Evil kind of was, right? It went from being a tank-controlled game where you kind of feel helpless to a third-person game where you kind of feel helpless. What it was is, since that was like one of the first games to try that, like as far as I can remember, like that kind of camera and everything like that, it was a little wonky. But the story in that was just so good. The way that they changed things up was so good. The what you call it? The evolution of like the zombies, or not the zombies, like the virus and everything like that. You know, you get the troll and shit like that. And I don't know, it was just an interesting take. That's when it kind of started really going off the rails. Five was pretty decent. People didn't like. People are divisive on 5 and 6. Those are all right, right? Like five was good. 5 was good because of the characters. I think more or less, like the characters were pretty good. That's the one I think I beat recently. Like most recently. I haven't played the old ones. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, 4 turned it into like an action survival. 5 ran with it, and then 6 ran it into the ground.
It's time to go shopping.
Yeah, 5 was definitely easier than 4. The combat was refined. It's a decent game. Obviously, everybody's heard about the stupid controversy. It's like, God forbid they make an international game and have the main people be of that country. You know what I mean?
Stay sharp.
It's crazy. It's a fucking crazy concept. But anyway, yeah, no, that one was pretty good. I played that for the first time, I believe, with my friend back in the day on PS3, I think it was. And we beat it pretty quickly. You know, but that game was all about, like, what is it, mercenaries, I think? Why does it keep doing that? Maybe I hit my scroll wheel. At the same time, I roll it as I click. Because I click it and I pull out the best weapon I got. But anyway, yeah. 5 was pretty good. I like that. I mean, and I bought fucking, what was it, 6 on sale on Steam a few years back. It was alright. It was just so combat heavy. It just felt like an action game. It didn't really feel like a Resident Evil game. But when it comes down to gameplay, it is pretty damn solid and satisfying. Once you get it down, once everything kind of clicks, because there's so many different movement things that you can do. You know, you dive on the ground and then you can roll and all this other crazy shit. Yeah, and I know I glanced over, I didn't even glance over, I totally skipped Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica. I mean, what more do you want to say? Those are pretty good games. Well, was 0, you had 2 characters. And I think you were able to do co-op in that game. I can't remember. I didn't play that one. And then Code Veronica was just good. It's just like, to me, those are just more of the original games, right? That's just more of 1 and 2. Hey, the stories are good though. I don't know. I would suggest playing them if you really like Resident Evil. I've watched playthroughs. I've seen all the shit. I know what they're about, but you know, I played Code Veronica, but I didn't play 0.
Find me.
But then what was it? The Biohazard, right? That was number 7 with when they started doing the FPS horror. That is like a return to form for Resident Evil in a lot of ways. Like the actual scariness and feeling underpowered, right? You're just a guy in that one.
Lots of lovely
And like, I don't know, the first like,
waiting for you.
what is it, like hour of the game kind of really gets you ready for what it's all about. Yeah, I never played that one or Village, but those ones always looked so good to me when it comes down to, like, I guess reimaginings of a franchise, right? I mean, it's not reimagining, it is a sequel, right? They are sequels. The gameplay and of course the story, you know, I don't know, what is it in Village? There's werewolves, whatever. Yeah, what was it? They added the werewolves and of course what was her name? Lady D. You know, I remember when she came out, she was a cultural phenomenon to say the least. And then when the game came out, or when I saw all the gameplay, I was actually surprised on, like, she wasn't in the game like that long, it feels like, you know? Like, that character should have definitely been around a little bit longer, but I don't know. She was imposing, right? I don't know. And in those, they follow a different character. You know, Ethan something, I believe. Winters? Is that right? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, but those are pretty decent games. I don't know. What is it, the remake of 2? That was solid. That's why number 3, when they remade 3, it was such a fucking wet fart. Like, what the hell were they thinking? The game was short. The Nemesis was underutilized. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? He looked like a melted big toe. The Nemesis. I'm like, what the fuck did they do to the most, like, badass survival horror character? You know, like, he was, or enemy rather, whatever. He was fucking badass back in the day. And then they just threw him in a microwave for the new one. And totally neglected him. Like, he should have been so much more of a badass than he was. Like in 3, the original 3, you were able to like take. I have options of whether or not you wanted to fight him or not, and then you get special rewards if you do. I think if you fight him 3 times. Oh shit! I think if you fight him and beat him 3 times or something, you get all the pieces to a gun. I think it's been a minute since I played it, but I remember there being that caveat, that incentive. And just the flow of the original 3 was so much better. I don't know. The Resident Evil 1 remake from years ago, it's pretty much like, what is it, a GameCube port that was just amazing. But that's like a straight up one for one of the other game. Well, not one for one because they do add extra features on top of making it look pretty. Go and fuck yourself, buddy. Oh, I'll do it here. Yep. Got him, guys. Well, if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell it was. Just rambling about Resident Evil games. Just my history growing up with them, I guess. I don't know. I was bored. Felt like making a video. Didn't know what to talk about. And then was like, hey, Resident Evil. I talked about the movies a couple weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure I talked about the games at some point, but who cares? Like I say, it's my channel. I'll do what I want. But yeah, let me know what you think. What was your experience with Resident Evil? Do you enjoy survival horror? Some people like horror games, but they don't like that kind of horror games. You know, like the tank controls and fixed camera angles and all that kind of shit. But yeah, no, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll stop ranting and rambling and let you get on with your day or night. If you just please consider doing all the things that YouTube likes and that I appreciate very, very much. Thank you so much for hanging out. It really does mean the world to me. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one.